Welcome to AltJake Takes On. And here's AltJake.
Hello again, everybody. This is AltJake. You're listening to AltJake Takes On. I'm here with my buddy George Capture, as always. We do want to thank everybody for listening, liking, subscribing, sharing. We're definitely seeing more and more people and more watches and more views coming in. So we want to thank you for all that. Continue. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. George, how you doing today, my friend?
Good. You do realize during the intro I do air guitar?
I do a little drum kind of situation.
I air guitar.
Which is funny because the only instrument I ever played in bands like in high school was bass guitar. So you'd think I'd do that, but no, I do air drums actually. I was just that's funny. So yeah, how you doing today, buddy? Is there anything on your mind, anything you want to get off your chest before we just kind of get into it?
Ready to do the Backlash review?
Right. And there's the difference when there's at least a well put together pay-per-view versus the last AEW one. We had to do a bonus episode where George just had to get it off of his chest. So this is also too a card where they let things breathe. 5 matches on the card. They all were given time. You got to take a moment to absorb them for it. But overall, definitely I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I think we'll just kind of start in order of how they went. It started off with the U.S. title Fatal 4-Way. I wasn't sure what match would kick it off. I thought it might be the women's IC match or maybe even Dom and Penta, but this is a good way to kick it off. You knew this was going to be just a fight and a battle because it was going to be no DQ, I guess it's a false count anywhere. They had to do it in the ring, but they could just get you. And that was the big question in everybody's mind is if there was going to be a debut during the match, which, I mean, we can get into it. That was kind of the big moment of the match was Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb debuting. Sorry, had a little finger slip there. Jeff Cobb debuting, which I thought was great.
Speaking of which, for those of you people that don't listen to the Spaces episode, March 16th episode, we had Marie on, and we talked about this a long time ago where Jeff Cobb would be coming. So
that was either our first or second ever Spaces, and she came in and dropped so much New Japan knowledge and information and just some great insight on there. If you guys haven't heard that, go back on the page and listen to it because she was dead right. What I thought was great was I saw him on Twitter was posted that morning. He had posted workout pictures of him at Muscle Beach in Venice, California, where he was saying that he got a great workout in and now was going to spend the day at the beach just to kind of throw people off. That was great. I was always a big fan of this guy. When I saw him in AEW, I openly admit I do not watch a lot or much New Japan at all anymore. I'll see some clips here and there online, but I don't really pay much attention. That's why it was so great to have Marie Shadows in for that episode because she was able to give us information and real knowledge from someone who not only watches but pays attention and studies it and actually knows what they're talking about. And I thought it was cool how they debuted him. It was pretty similar to most other Bloodline debuts, but isn't that what it should have been? I kind of thought.
Yeah, was really. I saw him in New Japan a couple of times. It's really good. He was really good. Here's your thing, though. You got to get him in and get him going quick, which is what they did.
Right.
He's 42. He's been beat up. New Japan style is tough on the body, dude.
Yes.
So you got to get him in, get him going. Screw NXT. Just screw him in there.
He's ready to go. I know a lot of times because I know what New Japan, like Marie Shadows told us, they don't really work to the hard can. They don't care as much of that. So sometimes you got to work that out of guys. But I feel like, he's 42. He did some matches in AEW where he was able to show he knows what he's doing as best you can in that company. I know there were some, I know he was a part of that weird botch with, I think, Trent, where somebody tried to put somebody's head in, but they slipped and the guy went forward with his head anyway, like he was going to be smashed in. And it was, just a botchamania special. But I think he'll be great in WWE, kind of like we've seen. Right motivation, right coaching. What I like about this picture and why I chose this one to put up for it was because I thought it was cool that they kind of had it where Jacob didn't know, set up where Jacob wasn't sure that didn't know this was coming in. Kind of like when Solo and it first brought Jacob in and Tama and Tonga, where Heyman was confused and they weren't ready for it. So I thought that was kind of a cool callback and sets that up for an interesting summer. I still think it's going to be interesting what they do. I know a lot of people have been calling for another bloodline separation and fraction off, but I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen. But they're setting up and they're teasing a lot of good things. I'm very interested to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, the match itself up until this point was very good. I was enjoying it. The crowd was into it. Everything was flowing nice. The 4 guys in there are seasoned veterans, so
that's it.
That's the thing that made the match tolerable. I'm not a big 4-way type guay or 3-way, but
I am in the right situations when you have professional.
My butt was that. But
yeah, right.
when you had the 4 guys that were in there, it was good.
It was similar to WrestleMania Night 1 with that main event and the women's triple threat, where you have people who know what they were doing. Nobody was just kind of sitting there where you see in the bad triple threat or 4-way matches or multi-man matches where somebody's sitting there like on a knee with their arm on the apron, just kind of waiting like that. You never want to see that. Yeah. Even if they're, unless it's like a biding time situation to be a true heel or whatever with it, but usually it's just crap, I'm 30 seconds early, so I have to just kind of sit here and quote unquote sell. But you never saw. They're great with the cameras too, where they took it with Drew and Priest kind of going off to the side and doing their own thing and setting that up. And and it ended up being a really explosive way to kick the show off. And shout out to that St. Louis crowd. They were hot all night. That crowd was into this show and they were ready to like be a part of it, as opposed to the WrestleMania weekend crowd that we all saw it. It's always the people that want to be part of the show and take over and be smart assy. Last night was much more how a show should be. At least I thought from what I heard.
Let's take a minute here and go through Damian Priest. I don't know where they're going to go. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. I really don't. They gave him a push and people didn't take it, and he was just in this match. I mean, they did the one spot where he busted Drew's head open or whatever the frig happened there.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't do it. No, he didn't do it on purpose. I take that back. I mean, Drew hit hard and that was a bad thing, but it's not Priest's fault. I mean, but where do you see him going now? I mean, there's nothing. Nothing.
I don't know if there's nothing. I just feel like there's got to be some. There needs to be some sort of change. There needs to be some sort of evolution to the character. You know what I mean? Like he needs to evolve into something a bit, because he's still like kind of has the same look and try. Have they though? Because
they tried. I feel like Judgment Day, they tried taking him out of it. Try making a baby face. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, there's. But I feel like if you put somebody in the right situation, like that's kind of like that's what Drew McIntyre was until Royal Rumble last year, maybe a little bit before that, where Drew was just kind of floating in the wind. But they said him like that's the thing of why I always feel like they can figure it out and put it right into place, because that's like what's same with Bronson Reed before they had him. Merc Seth with 6 tsunamis, and then within weeks he was in the bloodline. Like they can heat people up quickly. That's kind of like where I think is going to happen with Karrion Kross, and why they're letting him do the online stuff to get that kind of buzz and see the t-shirt sales that he's getting, where he's like third. It was like the 3rd highest selling t-shirt the last 2 weeks on WWE.com. So they can heat people up within the right way. I just don't know what you do. I just feel like there's got to be some sort of change, because I feel like, yes, he's a baby face, but he's still kind of that same guy he was in Judgment Day. So there just needs to be some kind of, and I don't know what though, because I don't know what else there really is to do, because he's kind of, with the gothic and dark look.
He's got like the personality of wet cabbage.
I don't know if it's that bad. I mean, hey, he's a New Yorker, he's a Yankees fan. I mean, he's got. I know there's people that really, really like him and that really enjoy him. I just don't know what to do to get that out of him. That's another thing. He's in his 40s. That is another thing. And he does have that pedigree where he has been a world champion, but where do you go with him? That's a very good question, because again, as we've seen, and when we talked about the releases, like one of the reasons that the releases came is because there's a lot of good talent on the way up. We've seen it whether it's through Evolve or WWE, the ID program, or even just NXT's got a lot of talent that's, if not ready, they're very, very close. And when those guys come up, what happens to the people that are kind of, I don't want to say floundering, but not thriving, because they're there and you need people in all spots. But I mean, I just feel like with a guy with his size, and he does have a good physical charisma, I mean, maybe you turn him back heel with a good, maybe have him join. I know he's on SmackDown, but maybe have him be part of the Heyman group and maybe have him be the muscle. I don't know. I don't think that would work either, but I say that only because I keep feeling like, just on that really quick, everybody keeps, when they want to add somebody else to the group, they keep wanting to add like Ethan Page or like, Austin Theory or something, where if you're looking at it like Evolution, they want that person to bring in to be the Randy Orton. But I really want Braun to be the Randy Orton in the total package. And if they bring anybody else into the Heyman group, have it be just the muscle, like have it be Omos and he just stands there silently and murks people. Like, that's fun. I just feel like Breakker should be more looked at as the Randy Orton total package of that group versus the Batista, where he's just the muscle, in my opinion, because he's much more than just being a beast, even though he is an absolute beast.
Yeah, all in all, like Drew did it for himself on social media. Priest doesn't have, I don't know, but all in all, on this match, I liked it. I went 2.5 on this one for me.
It's exactly what I went. 2.5 is exactly what I have written down for this one. I almost went to a 2.75 or a 3 because I thought the debut was good, but it also was kind of what we expected with it.
A lot of people just didn't know who he was too. So
that, that is true. But I feel like at least Cole did very well at putting it over on commentary, which is good for the fans at home. Was it Gunther and McAfee? Was that the next one? I think that was the next one, right? And then they went back to back. I think so. That's the next one we'll talk about. So I've got the match order over here to my left, and that's what they put in. But this was exactly what it should have been. I felt like, I thought it was. McAfee took a beating. He showed that he has some heart and that he was tough. But in the end of it, Gunther kicked the crap out of him and didn't have to do any super underhanded tactics. Everybody was kind of thinking there was going to be a comeback in this one, whether it was Ilya Dragunov or forget some of the other ones I heard. I was thinking if there was going to be anything, is that not in the match, but I thought maybe afterwards when Gunther was still choking McAfee or still beating him up or powerbombing or whatever, I thought maybe that's where Goldberg would come back and they would cash that in from when they before had Gunther talk shit to Goldberg. So, because I still think that is what they seemed to set up last year, and they've talked about Goldberg having a retirement match. So
I don't know.
That would make the most sense.
I expected nobody in this match to come in.
I didn't either. I'm exactly with you. I didn't expect anybody, but if it was going to be anything, people were really calling for Dragunov because I guess he's close to coming back or he's been cleared or maybe that's just what the dirt sheets are reporting. I don't really follow a lot of that stuff because let's be real, they're wrong 999 times out of 1,000, so I don't really pay much attention to it. But I thought this match was exactly what it should have been. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing special. But, Pat's chest was beat red pretty early into it. He tried to do what he could do, and Gunther kicked the crap out of him. I'm wondering if maybe that sends McAfee, maybe is he going to take a vacation? Is his show going to go on a hiatus for a couple weeks or something? Because this would be the perfect off season for him, wouldn't it, to take that break before because college football starts up in 3 months, 2 months?
Everyone says the same thing. He needs time off. I'm like, why?
I don't. He just had a baby recently. I just feel like
he doesn't work a hell of a lot. I mean, he works Mondays. That's it. And
he works Mondays in the WWE. I meant his TV show.
Oh, it's his show. Yeah, his show.
I meant just the whole thing.
They ain't planning on taking a break from that.
Well, then I
the last time I saw it, anyway. We'll see.
I can watch that show to a point. I don't mind him on the show, but a couple of his buddies are real obnoxious. I know they're supposed to be, but you can only handle. There's only so much of that I can usually handle. It's kind of like what is it, Logan Paul's podcast. I've watched a couple of his interviews, like with Heyman and Randy Orton, and Logan's not too bad on those shows because he's respectful to the wrestling business. But God, his co-host is just the most smackable son of a bitch since The Miz. He is annoying. I didn't mean to sidetrack this.
The ending for this, did Cole throw in the towel, or did he just tap out?
I think the ref just called it because he couldn't come. I don't think any towel was thrown in. I know Cole was like saying you don't have to do anything, but I think the ref just called it as far as I remember. But yeah, no, I think it was just but that's where it needed to be. It's how puts Gunther over and gets Gunther heat because McAfee is loved, even if some of the hardcore wrestling fans get a little bit annoyed because we watch every show every week. The general public, I mean, McAfee's mainstream as it gets. He's on ESPN for 3-4 hours every day, and YouTube, and so I get it. Like sometimes he annoys me a little bit, but I feel like with Cole it works. Like Cole makes it okay. If it was for Michael Cole, I feel like it'd probably be too much. But
Peck can pick a little bit over the top, but it's fine. It's fine.
Right.
I gave this a solid 2 all the way.
That's exactly what this was supposed to be. Exactly. It was. I'm with you 100%. Nothing more, nothing less. There was nothing bad about it. There was nothing spectacular, which is exactly what it should have been. The next matchup, which was a fun one, Dom versus Penta. Man, it's funny how Ray Phoenix, no shame to him. He is definitely getting over and he looks cool. And his Penta just looks like so much more a star in WWE. Like he just with his entrance and his strut and the way he connects with the fans and just his physical energy. I love the guy.
His exercise helps.
It does.
He's not a small, thin, scrawny dude.
Right.
He's an actually put together dude.
Right. He looks more. Yeah. He looks more like he looks more like a wrestler versus like a lucha wrestler. Because like Ray Phoenix and Rey Mysterio and like even Santos Escobar and the two those guys with them, like a lot of those guys have that thinner. Even Dominik's got a thinner build. Penta is stocky. He's thick, but he can still do the high flying offense. And I mean, that guy got over from moment one from the word go, and it's really been cool to see. And it's sad that they didn't let him do this in AEW where he could be a solo star. Same way.
I've never disliked the person more in one organization and liked the person more in the other organization. It's amazing to see, though. It really is, because like I'd watch the AEW matches and just see 15 Canadian or Mexican destroyers or whatever.
Right.
Now it's just spaced out. He sells stuff. He does
well, when a match
when
there's 6 super kicks in a row and you don't know who's connected with what, and it's all just the same thing, there's a point where you just, okay, uncle. Like that's where they had that cage match against the Bucks in AEW that everybody was like, oh, it's the greatest tag team match ever. And it was one of those things where I didn't watch it live. I ended up catching it later on YouTube or wherever. And it was like, okay, it was a spot fest. Like there were some cool moments, but overall, like, what am I going to remember out of that? It's not like the old TLC matches or even that, hour-long tag match on Collision with Juice Robinson and Jay White versus FTR. Like, that was one of the best tag matches of all time. Don't give me this because it's spot after spot after spot where nobody – this is like my new quote of the year. If they don't sell, why should I buy? I would look at Penta. He sells now, and I buy.
They've done a real good job with Penta.
It's amazing.
Got him calmed down, I guess.
Right?
Maybe not calmed down, but just
focus.
learning. Yeah, focused.
Exactly. Making it matter, making everything matter. It's one of those things as opposed to doing, 7 things that look great if you pull them all off. How about you do like 4 or 5 that you're going to pull off that will still look great a little bit slow? You know what I mean? Like it's just because it's not a major change. It's not like he's wrestling now, a technical slow style or something. Like he's still doing what he does. He's just doing it more concise. And then the biggest thing is the selling. No, it's funny where you said about the 2 different, like I never liked the guy more in the new place for Steel. Made me think, just because he recently passed away, shout out to Bob Uecker from Major League 2, where the guy comes over to their team. New Jersey, you really love the guy. Yeah, he's still a prick. Not the Penta. just made me think of that I had to. My brain basically lives in like 80s and 90s movie quotes and The Simpsons. That's basically what goes on up here. So,
yeah, I really enjoyed this though. This was nice. It's good to see you guys work together safely, snugly, get it done. Good spots, good time to breathe in between. I went 2.5 on this one.
I went 2.75. I was almost going to go 3, but I went a little under just because it wasn't anything super crazy and special. But what I do love is Dom, putting over Dom to put over our guests of last week on Sunday Night Spaces about Kevin Apollo, talking about people learning the right way and people that you need the reps in front of a crowd to figure this out, and how Dom, when he first turned heel, it was still getting pushed in the Judgment Day, worked Raw on Monday, and then NXT Tuesday through Friday or Saturday, got Sunday off, and then flew to Raw on Monday morning. Like, that work that he did for 6 months to a year is paying off now, because that kid can go, and you put him on a pay-per-view card. I mean, this card only had 5 matches, and he's in one of them. Like, that's pretty damn cool and good for him, and he's awesome.
And from what we all heard, Dom's a real nice dude. He got all his father's values.
Yeah, that's why the heel. That's what it works. They always say the people that are the best heels are usually the nicest guys in the world, and I feel like that's why Dom's able to work like for. With Rhea and then with Liv and Raquel and within the Judgment Day, like there's just nothing that he does that doesn't click, everybody and clearly he loves the business. I mean, I know Rock always talks about how he grew up in the business, but we physically saw this kid grow up in the business. And that's why one day I hope they push it off and take as long as they can to get there. But one day he will make an amazing babyface. He really, really will.
It'll be there soon.
I just hope it's not too soon. I hope they wait. If this was Vince McMahon, he would have turned babyface last night, if not soon. And I think it's great we've got nothing but time. The kid's like 25, 26. We got time. We're good.
Yep.
No.
What's next?
Yep. So the women's IC title match. You've got the Battle of Ireland, the Irish Pride match. I don't know what you want to call. I'm sure there's a lot of good names that people can make up for this one, but this match, I will say, I expected it to be good because they're both good in ring. This one really surprised me. I thought this might have been match of the night. I don't know. It was really good. I thought I really, really enjoyed this match. Surprisingly,
I liked it. I won't call it the match of the night, but I liked it. It seems Lyra's getting to me a little bit, like she's getting on my good side. I think like so. I like what she's been doing. I just got to get rid of the feathers.
Yeah, I'm not that big on the
gimmick itself. Is not cool to me.
The thing is, I feel like if you've seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the gimmick is just always going to make you laugh. Like with the birds of prey and the like it's, it's just always going to make, at least for me. Now, I am surprised that that Lyra won, because I thought,
I picked this one right, by the way, for once.
Good for you. This was the one match I got wrong. This was the one I didn't get right, because I thought Lyra chasing, they might be able to get more sympathy and story with her there, that people would, because that's what everybody, not everybody, but I feel like the internet, the IWC is saying a lot that she's not getting over. And we see it like in any of the Pro Wrestle Times chats for any of the live shows. There's a large section of those fans, people that don't really connect with her. But I thought a chase might help her connect more, but I don't feel like this story, maybe the story with Becky isn't over. I'm not too sure, but
it's not.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that's why Becky ends up joining the new Dangerous Alliance, or maybe they're just going to I think they're probably just going to call them the Alliance is probably what I feel like they'll be called. But
I'm not seeing her becoming a member of it, just because I think Don may have mentioned this. Once SummerSlam's over with, she's going back to being a mom again, because school starts.
Yeah, but the kid's only like 4.
School starts. She's a mom. That's what she's going to do.
I know, but the kid's not even in school yet. The kid's like 4.
Watch and see. We'll see.
All right. You could be right. Yeah.
Pay attention, because she likes, she enjoys being a mom more than she
she does. And clearly with where Seth is, like, he's getting that major push right now within the company. So you got to let him, like it's not like one of those things where maybe she's getting the bigger push or over as the bigger star, like if he was, let's say Rhea Ripley's level right now or something where she's just, or where she was when she was first the man, where she was the most over person in the company, it does, you could be right. No, the idea of Heyman putting them over as the first couple of wrestling just sounds fun to me, but we'll see. No, I thought this match was good. Not, like I said, at first, I don't think it was match of the night. I was just surprised with how, I think it was more surprised how the crowd got into it, because I know that she's, like we said, Lyra's not connecting with everybody, but I felt like the crowd was into it. I give this match a solid 2.5, though.
I went 2. I like, you know what? I liked was the fact that Lyra got her face rearranged and was still going through with it all at the end there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, hey, that toughness. I mean, I feel like that helped Tiffy with the Charlotte match where she had the bloody mouth and the goose egg, especially the SmackDown afterwards. That was just a giant bruise on her forehead. Like, hell yeah. We like that toughness, especially, Lyra's a very, very pretty girl. So, Gabber getting beat up a little bit shows that toughness. That's a good thing.
Yeah, she's getting to me. She's got the door's open. Let's just say that. The door's open.
Yeah, and she's young enough where if she keeps putting it together, and again, repetition, she's getting better and better for sure with it. So I guess that leads us into the main event. The one last time. Hopefully, I don't know if they're gonna botch that and have them go again, but it seemed like with how they did this match that this felt like a band getting back together for that one last greatest hits tour, the Eagles, all right. Let's go make that last big chunk of money together before we can't. I felt like that's what this was.
By the way, the Eagles are still performing live in Vegas almost every night.
Eagles-ish, though. I mean, Glenn Fry's deceased. I don't know. I guess they have his kids. So I'm not I like the Eagles. I'm not like the Big Lebowski where I fucking hate the Eagles. But I feel like without Glenn Fry, it's just not the same. I don't know. I've never been my dad was a big Eagles fan.
I was a big Eagles fan, no doubt.
Yeah, no, they're good. I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm surprised they ever still play. But I guess with it being his son, it's not. But I just feel like this was we're gonna play the hits. I mean, I believe Randy hit 11 RKOs last night, if I'm not mistaken. That was the count that I did.
If we include staff and back to
all the people that came out, he hits 8, I think, with other people, and he hit 3 on Cena. I believe there could have been more. I could have been off, but yeah, I feel like that was for the hometown crowd of here you go. This is your boy. We're gonna have RKO after RKO, but. I mean, this match was fun. You had a lot of cool moments. You had we're going to start into the FU, into the RKO. I mean, that was one of the cooler RKOs he's ever done. And surprised that they never did that before, seeing as how many matches have they had against each other. I should have looked that up before we went on here. How many matches they've had
a lot, dude. They headlined every pay-per-view for a while.
For years. And I feel like it was also one of those things too where they were the feud, and Edge was included in that too, where when they didn't know what to do, you weren't sure where to pivot, throw them together, throw them in a match. That's fine. It'll work. You know what I mean? Shit, we don't know what to do. Put these guys together. Shit, we don't know what to do. Put these guys together. So
yeah, they worked this match like 2 older guys would work a match.
Yep.
Not too much. Work the crowd, sell everything, make it happen.
Yeah, but I was thoroughly sports entertained. The crowd was on their feet most of the match. I thought it was great when they intermixing with the different referees. Also, okay. Randy taking the drink of prime and saying the shit's gross or whatever he said. Fucking nasty.
Let into something that I have a gripe with.
Oh, what's up?
I don't mind ref bumps. I do mind a 7-minute and 25, whatever the hell it was, of the guy laying there like he's dead.
Yes, I agree.
No medical staff comes out. No other referee comes out. It took too long. I got no problem with a ref bump, but work it consistently.
Yeah. No, unless it's like the ref gets hit with a chair or like,
Then
the ref gets super kicked or something. Then they can stay out for 7 minutes. Granted, there still should be checked on. There should be the medical personnel should be right there for the referee almost immediately if he takes a bad bump, just because he's the ref. That's part of it. But
that was legitimately head into the stairs. That's
Yeah.
what they wanted you to believe.
Oh,
I'm good
yeah.
with that. It
Yeah.
sounded good.
it did.
So, okay, he's down. Okay,
Man down.
send somebody out, and with them behind him, another referee comes out. It shouldn't
Yep.
take that long. It took too long.
I agree. I will give you that one. Then that does dock points for sure for me.
That
But
did for me too.
yeah, but overall the match was still pretty good, and it was
Solid.
definitely
Very
entertaining,
solid.
and it was fun how they did it, and obviously everybody knew the outcome that Randy was going to lose. But another thing different. Not that I don't think Vince would have made Randy get embarrassed in his hometown, but it's not like Randy was embarrassed in his hometown. He got to. It was a good match. He got to RKO everybody and their mom 17 times. But it was one of those things that I enjoyed it. I was thoroughly sports entertained. Solid 2.5 for me.
Yeah, I went the same 2.5. And the only reason I didn't go 3 is because of the 15 minutes of sitting there watching the referee in the corner.
Yeah, no, I had it at 2.75. You had me dry. I'd forgotten that part was as egregious. But even on with Phil at one, I was like, come on, where are the guys? Especially like we know who they are. It's all the freaking workers. Where you got Jason Jordan and then Jamie Noble and was it Kenny Dykstra? It was good to see. And not Jordan, but all the rest of them took it. Was it, did Aldis take another one too? Another RKO?
Yeah.
So that's 3 on Aldis now. That's great. I love it.
They all at this point in careers, it's like an honor again to get hit by something.
Yeah.
Like taking the stunner is an honor. Getting
Absolutely.
the figure 4 is an honor. Getting RKO'd by Orton's an honor.
That was
it.
Back to WrestleMania. That's why the Joe Hendry thing. Oh, he got buried. Like, no, he got hit with an RKO out of nowhere. How many people have been flattened by an RKO out of nowhere? Like, it's what happens. Like,
Yeah,
it's part of the deal. It's
an honor. It's an honor.
Yeah, and it's
they
not
all treated it that way. When you watch the reactions of everybody
Yes.
that took one, they all took it very nicely.
Like, and you nailed it too with the stunner. That was McAfee with, what was it, at WrestleMania 38 in Texas when he took the stunner with the beer and then he was laying there drinking the beer just with a big smile on his face, like, fuck yeah, I just took a stunner. Hell
This normally would have been the end of our show, but I understand there was something more that happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in case I'm not sure if everybody has seen it, but if you haven't, go online because it's there from the press conference. Triple H is speaking at the end, but then he gets interrupted by Cena, who comes out and cuts a heel promo, and then R-Truth comes out trying to support him. I wish I could have found a better picture of what actually happened, but he puts in an FU through the table at the press conference to end the press conference. John Cena attacked R-Truth. R-Truth's childhood hero attacked him. Oh, never meet your heroes. Oh, yeah, it's just so great. I said it the night on which is actually one of our most watched videos of all time, our Elimination Chamber review, talking about the heel turn. And I was saying how everyone's thinking Cena's going to turn back face by the summer. I said, if he turns back face, it would be in like the last show or the last couple shows. I'm starting to think that if is the biggest part of that sentence. He might not. He might just say it and go out heel. Like, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
because he'll still be right. He'll still be beloved in the long term. But man, I just feel like if you attack R-Truth, like, there's not much that everybody agrees on in wrestling. Like, even from the sickest sick, like, who doesn't like R-Truth? Even me, I will say sometimes when he's in too many segments doing the stuff too much, there's a point where you're like, okay, this is like, it's too much R-Truth. But then Triple H doesn't do that. He gives you the perfect amount of R-Truth every time to be hilarious, make you love the guy, and sympathize with him, so that when somebody attacks him, we all go, oh, hell no, don't attack R-Truth.
Yeah, I have a feeling this was probably done because a lot of people are saying it, including myself to a point, is I just can't buy John Cena as a heel. But when you attack R-Truth, then you're like,
Right.
oh, okay, maybe the guy is a prick.
He's yelling at kids in the crowd. He's
trying.
He's playing all the cards.
Yeah.
He's having them do like specific announcements that put him over more. You know, he's got the mead mug. He's trying.
A lot of people that aren't buying it, but he's trying.
I give that. No, and you know, I fully get it. I've always been a fan of John Cena. I've said it before on this show. He shook my hand at a show in 2005 or 6 when we had like second row tickets to a Monday Night Raw. And I've always loved the guy, but I give him credit for trying. It's hard for me to, you know, not root for the guy, but you know, how weird was that though, with Randy as the babyface and Cena as the heel? Like, how many matches have they had? Like, let's just say it's 150. What is this like that we've seen on WWE television? Is this the first one that was this way? Like, maybe there was a time when they were both heels, but like Randy's never been a baby face ever, really. He was when he like left Evolution for like a couple of months, but and then he went back to the Legend Killer. I don't know.
I don't think they ever crossed paths that way.
I don't think so.
When Randy may have turned babyface, John Cena was already gone.
Yeah, and on different shows or whatever. Yeah, I don't think it's so. It was just interesting, and if that is the last time they ever wrestle, for it to go that way. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun, especially they showed us something new. I mean, the FU into the RKO, like that was just so smooth. I don't know if you saw it. Somebody posted on, I don't know if it was YouTube or Twitter, but a compilation video of every RKO that John Cena has ever taken. It's like 7 minutes, and it's just, there's no buildup. It's just like clip, 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 clip. And it's fun. It's like watching them age, though, ever so slowly through it. Like you see Cena's hair start to go. It's pretty cool, though. It's a good video.
Yeah. All in all for Backlash, I'd say 2.5 on our rating system.
Yeah, I would say probably within there, a solid B, maybe a B plus pay-per-view. I'd say a solid B though, 2.5. Like it was fine. I was sports entertained. They didn't take too long. It wasn't like we had to spend from 5 o'clock to 10:30 watching it. For me, it started at 4 o'clock my time. It was done before 8. Like perfect, great, fun.
Yeah,
it was done by like 7:30.
I would say, except for the main event of WrestleMania Night 1, this was almost as good as WrestleMania Night 1.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So I was definitely third. Yeah,
I was very happy.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Aside from that main event, because if you cut off that main event and just give the first 6 matches of night 1, yeah, it's probably on par with these 5. That's right. That's about the best way to put it. Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed it. Thought it was a good show. Happy to be able to get this review out. We will post that. We got some cool stuff coming. Apparently everybody does like our classic match reviews, so we are going to give the people what they want. We've had our second one out with the WrestleMania 26 main event. George is working on his match that he wants us to review for that, and we'll just we'll ping pong it back and forth and pick matches. If anybody has any matches they want us to review, let us know. Once we finally figure out the right way to start a Patreon, we'll do it. We'll do watch-alongs there. It's going to be, hey, if that's the people want, I'm all for it. You twist my arm to have me watch classic wrestling. Oh no, please. Anything else, George? Anything else you got?
All right, cool. We gotta get ready for tonight. So
right, I was just gonna say we're gonna wrap up now because we are gonna do our Sunday night spaces. If you're watching this right when it posts, come join us at 8:05 p.m. Eastern for Sunday night spaces. If you're listen to this in the future, every Sunday we will be live 8:05 p.m. Eastern through my X account for Sunday night spaces. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and we will catch you guys the next time. Thanks, everybody.